Hey,
Hi everybody, this is Jeff. Hi everybody, this is Jeff.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Welcome to another special episode of Stay Rad Wine Blog TV. This is my pop. This is Harvey.
Marcello.
Same difference.
Yeah.
So anyways, Kara and I are up visiting the folks in Reno this weekend. There's a chicken wing festival in Reno this weekend. There's a barbecue festival in Reno this weekend. And we got a free place to stay. The only thing that I needed to do... What are you doing? You're
Very
just
nice places, like Dave does. Very nice places to stay.
Stop it. The only thing we had to do was pay for gas and bring some wine. Now, here's the thing. Tonight, what are you making for dinner, Dad?
Bruschetta, all ingredients from my garden, and then pasta, which Mary bought. She bought some ravioli, but with a sage butter that goes on top that I'm making also from the garden. Everything's fresh.
So, bruschetta.
Bruschetta. Jesus.
Most people say bruschetta. For those of you who don't know, it's like some ciabatta bread with, you've got a melange of stuff. What do you have on top of that?
Like a basic bruschetta, as they will tell you in Italy, is something like a ciabatta bread, and then you shave some garlic into an olive oil, and you spread it on that and put it under a broiler. That's basic bruschetta. I do the same thing, then I add, oh my God, I chop tomatoes, fresh tomatoes from the garden, olive oil. I smash the olive oil with anchovies for the salt, and then I'll add chopped artichoke hearts, chopped parsley, chopped basil, chopped tomatoes, and then I use two different types of cheeses, which would be provolone and parmigiano.
And did you mention that you're putting like some shrimp on the top of it?
I'm also adding shrimp on the top of it, plus avocado on the top of it, plus olives on the top of it. None of that is necessary. But it looks really good.
So what we're thinking is rustic, light Italian fare. Is that a good way to describe your culinary point of view?
Yes, very well done.
And so I was saying, hey, there's this really cool wine shop. There's actually a lot of really cool wine shops in Reno. One that I'm a big fan of is called Craft Beer and Wine. And I was telling Dad that we're heading down there, and I'm thinking, for bruschetta, what I wanted was a lighter styled red with some really good acidity to play with the, you're putting like some balsamic vinegar inside.
No balsamic, no vinegar.
But there is kind of like a vinegar type of play when you think about bruschetta, right?
I think most people do put a little balsamic in there. I don't.
Do you have any vinegar in it?
No, but I can put some in.
Is there some sort of acid that you add to this?
Tomatoes are basically acidic.
Okay, so to play with the acidity of this, I always like to think of like a lighter styled red wine. And before we left, I said, "Is there anything you want to get?" And he said, "What did you say you wanted?"
Chardonnay.
What kind of Chardonnay?
A buttery Chardonnay.
A big buttery Chardonnay.
Big buttery Chardonnay. I didn't want any fruit forward. I wanted buttery Chardonnay.
Just butter. And the thing is, like,
butter.
I go to this place and all I'm thinking is, I cannot imagine a Chardonnay would taste good at all with what you were bringing.
Okay.
I know you like Chardonnay. I know you like bruschetta. I just don't think they're going to go well together.
Okay.
And then I'm talking to the guy down there. I said, this is what I'm thinking, but my dad wants a big buttery Chardonnay. And the guy goes like this. I don't know. So I did pick up just two wines that I thought were kind of interesting, right? The first wine that we're going with, this is the La Pépille. I mean, you took French in high school, right?
La Pépille.
La Pépille, which means...
The pee-pee.
Okay.
No, that's a rooster. Pépille.
Okay, so this right here, it's labeled as 2011 Cot. And in France, when you read Cot, you know what grape that is?
Cot. I don't know.
Malbec.
No.
Yeah, so when you think about, Malbec is originated in the south of France, usually labeled Cot. It's really big in Argentina right now. You'll find
Yes.
a lot of Argentinian Malbecs. You do also find it blended in with Bordeaux wines, like with Cabernet, with Merlot. It'll make its way in there sometimes. And I was just talking to him about them because I've never had just this is a Côte from the Loire Valley. I think it's Loire. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that for now. Yeah, from the Loire Valley. And I was asking, how does this compare with a South American Malbec? And he was saying, it's not really the same at all. In South America, you're thinking like just big, in-your-face fruit, big, aggressive oak, which you like. You like all the Malbecs.
I do. I'm not thinking of that when I think of South America.
And this one, I mean, even when I poured it out, we got the lights off in here, but I mean, you can even still see that this is a really light in color for the wine. I mean, it's
It's showing a lot darker on the screen than it actually is. It's light.
Yeah, that's okay. They know this. When I do this, this means nothing. Oh, when it kind of shakes, you kind of see how light it is.
I see.
But what was also interesting about this wine, falls under the category of being a natural wine. And natural wine, it's a weird concept for us in America because if you bought something that was organic, there would be like this big label, right? There's this big authority figure that says this is what organic means.
Sulfites and non-sulfites.
But here's the thing, right? So natural wine kind of takes it a step further. Just because you have a wine that's organic, right? That just means that the grapes were grown organically.
Right.
I can take an organic wine and I can add a buttload of chemicals to it, right? I can add a buttload of oak and I can totally change this thing.
I thought you said you're not supposed to use bad words on this.
But in this case,
all right.
See what I did? So the deal is with when we talk about natural wines, it's not like an official classification, but the idea is kind of wine the way that it's found in nature, right? Cavemen started eating grapes, and
Romans,
some
the Greeks,
of them ferment naturally, right? There's going to be yeast that naturally collects on grapes. They're in this like symbiotic relationship, and you pick them late enough, those grapes are already starting to ferment, starting to make alcohol.
I love it when you talk dirty like that, son.
Oh my goodness. So I mean, part of it is dry farmed. They don't irrigate. Right?
Yeah.
Part of it is made on their natural yeast. Part of it is they rarely ever use oak.
They don't irrigate. Where are they growing these?
They're just dry farming. There's a lot of places in California that dry farm as well.
Does that make the intensity of the grape more intense?
I think it's more about, season to season. We got this whole philosophy about wine, right?
We do.
It's really about what does wine mean to you. And I think one thing that we see a lot in France is wine speaks to the region. You don't pick up a bottle of wine from France that just says right on it, this is Cabernet Sauvignon.
No,
right?
I watched your blog. You told us that.
It speaks to the region.
I got you.
Right?
I'm hip.
So it speaks to the region. It also speaks to the year, 2011. And it speaks to the conditions of the weather that are there.
Okay.
So essentially, they're trying to say this is the way that nature would make it if nature put wine in bottles for us. And the other thing is...
Is this some of that? Or no?
Yeah, this is natural wine right here. And so the other thing is limited use of sulfites. All wine has sulfites
and that's
in
to
it.
clarify it?
I'll talk to you about that in a second.
Later.
All wines have sulfites in them.
Right.
They naturally are going to have it. Okay? Mm-hmm. The reason why you would add... So all wines that you get in the United States are going to say that there are sulfites on it. So don't give me that garbage like, oh, I get wine without sulfates. You're lying to yourself. And most people are not allergic to sulfates. And people who say, I can't drink red wine because it gives me a hangover because of all the sulfates are idiots. Because white wine has more sulfates
it's okay.
than red.
There always will be idiots.
The reason why you use sulfites is to control the process. As soon as you add sulfites to the wine, it's going to kill off any remaining yeast or bacteria.
Gotcha.
The reason why you would use that for white wine, you know, you like that buttery, oaky Chardonnay, right?
Yeah.
That's the secondary malolactic fermentation, where bacteria will start to ferment that sugar and start to make lactic acid, like the stuff that's in my muscles when I work out all the time. That's the stuff that makes creaminess in cheeses.
Can we show more muscles?
No. Again, this is a family showdown.
Did you tell them who won the push-up contest at Thanksgiving?
Which Thanksgiving?
The one where I did 3-to-1 push-ups years.
I think I was like recovering from an illness then.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyways, minimal use of sulfites here. Again, it's just kind of, the idea is wine the way that nature intended it. A lot of people get really mad when they hear the concept of natural wine, but really it's just, whatever, it's a different philosophy for it. And I love all kinds of wine, just like I love all kinds of people and all kinds of music and all kinds of food.
Okay.
Let's get into this. So again, essentially this is a Malbec just from a different place. Okay, let's get into the nose here.
Oh, that actually smells really good.
There's some herbs in there, right? Like, don't you feel like...
If anything, I would say mint, which is not my favorite herb.
And I would kind of go to that, too. Yeah. But, I mean, there are, like, some secondary herbs on top of that. There is some good fruit there, like some good red fruit. Boy, there's some, like, black pepper. Just stick your nose really...
It's in there, man.
There's some black pepper.
And way on the back is as if you bit down.
And then there's maybe like, you know what? It kind of reminds me of like a watermelon salad, right? Like some watermelon, some little like olive oil or vinegar in there, and like some pepper and some mint.
Man, there's something there, and I cannot put my.
But there's a red fruit, right? But you're getting stuck on one of the herbs.
Something very familiar. Don't worry about it.
And that happens all the time, and it may come to you later.
Your fans
and just feel free to. What I do then is just keep the base of it on the table and just kind of. Whoa!
Yeah, let's see.
Almost lost it.
You're scratching my table.
That's okay. Cool. This carpet we've had since I was in 5th grade, so we're good.
We ready?
Yeah, let's give it a whirl.
Do I chew it like you do? Remember when we did this Thanksgiving? The first taste I had of the wine, I couldn't stand the wine. It tasted better on the second. This tastes great. It's really soft. Is soft a word for wine?
So I mean, I think you're speaking to the weight of it. It's not like it doesn't have like the viscosity of like a heavy cream or a milk or anything like that. It's I mean a little bit more thin, right? Are you speaking to that?
No. I mean it's almost velvety soft. It's easy on the palate.
I mean this
really
is
really nice.
This is
Mom would like this.
Really approachable, but it's not like wussified.
It's
right.
It's not a knockout heavy wine taste.
It's not.
It's a light wine taste.
It's light, but it's deep. It's like a poet, right? Like think about like a beatnik writer, right? Like they kind of looked they looked all like wimpy and stuff, but then like when they spoke to you, their words had weight.
Okay.
And that's what this wine lacks. So I mean, physically, there's not a lot of weight there, but I mean, there's a whole lot of different components going in there. I mean, I only took one sip, and it's crazy because that black pepper that we were smelling earlier, that's still bouncing around in the back of my mouth.
This is really good, and I'm not a red wine aficionado nor a fan.
This is very it's very
and this is Malbec?
Subtle. Yes, it's very subtle and very complex. And again, it's cult from the Loire Valley. I mean, there are some red fruits there, but that's not really what you're concentrating on. I mean, there is some of that, like, there is like a really, like a faint, like, again, I keep going back to that kind of like strawberry watermelon thing.
I was going to say strawberry.
But more than that, you get like a lot of like green vegetable type of notes. Like there's almost like a cabbage in there. There's definitely that black pepper is what's still sticking around.
No,
Again, I got to take another sip here.
This is superior. So this is really quite good. And how much do we pay for this bottle? You're pointing at some, but I can't see.
Sorry, $14.50.
Wow, this is really quite good.
And I mean, it's just really, it's really nice. I mean, if you're tired of, gosh, well, if you compare it to like an Argentinian Malbec, right? That is a fruit and oak balm, right? You don't really have to think about it. It just goes into your mouth and blows up and kind of takes over your palate. This one right here, you know, it's very subtle. It's very restrained, but it's got something to say. It's kind of like,
Fans out there don't know.
Yes, okay, but
that's a good description.
But in the sense that, like, Vic didn't talk a whole lot.
Right.
Right?
Couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Couldn't get a word in edgewise. But when he did have something to say...
Profound.
Sometimes. Sometimes. And this is one of those times.
Yes,
this is one of those times. We don't have anything to dump this in before the next wine.
Can we drink the whole thing?
Yeah, just real quick. Because we got another one.
He said, your mother's driving me nuts. Profound.
Exactly.
This is really fabulous.
And after you kill that, Dad, and... Come on. Stick your nose back in there and smell it again. Right? That's a good way, like if you're missing flavors the first time around or aromas the first time around, after you drink it, stick your nose back in there because there's going to be a lot more surface area for the molecule.
Right?
To kind of open up.
Yeah.
So this next one, so I'm glad that you like this because I wasn't sure you were going to.
I love it.
This next wine I think is a little bit more up your alley. This is the 2009 Valpolicella Classico by Giuseppe Lunardi. And I was reading on the back, this guy and his wife actually run a bed and breakfast. So in Italy.
Where?
I don't. It's really dark in here right now. We'll read it later. We gotta get in. Don't spill the wine, man. But like, if you really like this, maybe you can go say hello to the guy and stay at his bed and breakfast.
Tell us what this wine is. What kind?
So it's a Valpolicella, and again, that's the region, right? If I told you the grapes are Corvina, Rodinella, and Molinara. Like a tomato sauce, Molinara. But Valpolicella is a region. So there's essentially 3 different distinct types of wine from Valpolicella, but they're all made from the same type of grapes. This is just kind of the entry level, those different grapes that I was talking about, you know, made in that normal, just the way that we would make wine, right? Just fermenting them, letting them do their thing. Now, there is another wine from Valpolicella called Amarone. And Amarone, it's where you let those grapes stay on the vine for a really long time, turn into... Or maybe they pull them off and let them turn into raisins, but they essentially raisinate these grapes before they turn into wine. So they become very concentrated. Have a whole lot more sugar to begin with. Have a whole lot more of a concentrated flavor. I don't know. You know, my guess would be that they do have a slightly higher uptick in alcohol, but it's a totally different flavor profile with the same type of grapes. Now, in between the Valpolicella and the Amarone, and the only reason why I'm doing this is not necessarily quality, but price. Costs a lot more to make Amarone. This is Valpolicella, what we're drinking right here. In between,
time is money.
In between, there's one called Ripasso. What does Ripasso mean, my Italian dad?
Ripasso means review.
Ripasso. R-I-P.
R-I-P-A-S-S-O means review.
Okay, so it also means, what I've heard was, it also means to pass over, right? So what they do is they take Valpolicella, right? And while it's in the barrel, doing its thing, they also take, it's not good TV to go into your pocket. Just
I was going to get my dictionary out of my pocket.
Yeah, now's not the time, man.
Okay.
We can look that up later. So what they do then is they take the Valpolicella And while it's fermenting, they take some Amarone and they pour that over the top, and it passes through, and so it imparts more of an Amarone type of flavor into the Valpolicella.
Ripasso, maybe that is because ribollita means to reboil, ripasso, repass through.
But the idea
But
here...
it really means a review.
This is essentially Valpolicella. I've only had one before this, or one that I've really like gone into and reviewed before. It's like a lighter style Italian,
Let's hit it,
like
buddy.
once a week type of wine. So color, significantly darker than that Malbec we had.
It's hard to
earlier.
see because actually the sun's going down.
That's okay. We gotta. That's true. It is. This is kind of fun, right?
Sure,
it's
yeah.
changing. But significantly darker, and I mean even. I kind of see your fingers through, but still significantly darker than the last one. Let's stick your nose in there.
You know, it's not that different.
So actually, I was gonna say it's way different.
Really?
When I'm getting off the bat, and you get this with a lot of Italian wines.
This is actually woodier. Do you
It smells woodier, and I was gonna say there's more like soil. There's more earth in there. Like, stick your head into your crawl space and take a whiff.
Okay, no,
Right?
that's musky.
Not necessarily musty.
It smells woody.
But I get earth, he gets wood. But I mean, that's the thing. The reason why you hear all these different terms when people talk about wine is people have different associations to the same smells.
Yes.
People smell things differently.
I know that.
That's why Kara always tells me that I need to take a shower, but I feel good.
Okay.
But I'm definitely getting like an earthy type of nose there. So woody, soily, kind of mushroomy, right?
Yeah, well, there you go.
There is almost like a raisiny type of characteristic to this. Getting a little rubber.
Oh, right. I like when you say tobacco.
Usually when I say tobacco, it's kind of like pipe tobacco
Yeah,
before
yeah.
it's lit.
Papa John.
Or like if you smelled a cigar before
Yeah.
it was lit,
Yeah.
like that type of thing. There is almost like a minty type of menthol type of thing on the nose here. And there is like a cranberry raspberry, something like a red fruit, but kind of like more concentrated. But more than anything else, this is a earthy, soil-driven type of wine, right?
Ready?
Let's get into it. Compai.
Another good wine. it's not as good as I like the other one better because it was surprising. This is very good wine.
It's bringing that soil. It's bringing that rubber. It's bringing that leather. It's bringing red currant to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, I like both these wines. I like them a lot.
Do we get to give them numbers?
I should score them. I've kind of got away from really scoring wines.
You and Dave
like,
scored.
we did, but I didn't even like really write those down on the blog because those were just kind of.
You go 84, Dave
those
go
were
85.
kind of in the moment.
David go 85, you go 80. No, it was,
Those wines were very disappointing.
Well,
we had a fun time.
I got to tell you, both of these are excellent. And like I said, the first tasting I ever did with you on the blog and Thanksgiving, I did not like the wine.
And that's okay. And you know, you're gonna taste a lot of stinkers. You have to get to the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
I was listening to Howard Stern on the way up here.
I'm sorry to hear
It was
that.
like kind of like a best of thing, and he was listening to
That's
this.
an oxymoron.
I can tell you, he was listening to this song by Silverchair. Remember those guys? They were 16 when their album came out, but it was like 1996, 1995, something like that. They were listening to that song, that one single, and there's this like slow part at the beginning of the song, and he goes, "This part's really wimpy, but you need to have the wimpy part of the song to make the good part of the song that much better." And I think that's the thing. You're gonna taste a lot of wines. They're kind of like the slow, wimpy part, right? But you need to taste those to get to the good part, right?
We're recording soon.
Yes, we're recording, Mother, but it's good to see you. I will.
You know, it's
gonna give
getting
you a
grainy.
big
You want
hug
to
in
turn
a
the
second.
light on, or
No.
Okay.
It's cool.
All right.
It's cool. It'll be
let's
fine.
chin chin.
So, gosh, we'll taste this we'll taste it again, give it a score, and then taste that other one real quick and give it a score. I do say I think I like the first one a little bit better.
I do. This is, I mean, I love them both. You could have served me this. I like the first one better. You could serve me the second one first, and I said, this is great. And I would have, I mean, that's, but I'm
This is really nice. I think some of this, I don't think this is going to hit like a broader spectrum of people aren't going to like this as much. But this is a solid like 89 pointer right here. And this bad boy was $14. I mean, we're talking about wine that's, let me kill it. Go ahead and pour yourself one. We're talking about wine that's fairly inexpensive, that if you're looking at like finer wine shops, you may not be able to find the exact same thing, but if you talk about, you know, these are the types of wines that they were talking about, most folks are so knowledgeable they'll point you in the direction to tell you what you should get and what you should try that would taste like this.
Pass this to Mom. Grab this, Mom.
But anyways, the Valpolicella, I'm going to give that an 89, and the Cot.
Oh, isn't that funny now?
They taste different, right?
They taste different.
That second one was so much bigger, and I didn't know what order to do, but we definitely tasted them in the right order. This second wine right here, the La Pepier?
Pepier, is there an accent on it?
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't like the first as much as I did. I'm going to have to score them. I'm dead even at 90 each.
I can see that. You know, it's kind of neat when you taste this one the second time after that bigger one.
Yeah.
It almost has like a little like frizzante, kind of like cherry cola type of thing, right?
Something first. It doesn't have that smooth, that suave.
And I think that's just how those pepper notes are reacting to what we were looking at earlier. Okay. I mean, I'm going 89 with that Valpolicella. With this Cot right here, I'm going to give it 91.
Wow.
I mean, just a really awesome, multi-layered, refined type of wine. Mom, grab this.
Well, this was the most interesting tasting. For me,
I am really happy I did not listen to you. I am really happy I did not get that buttery Chardonnay. Ladies and gentlemen, kids out there, do not listen to your parents.
Peace out.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, big boy.
Hey, everybody, stay rad.